Let's discuss the health benefits of pizza. Now, is it possible to have some health benefits from pizza? Yes, but you have to do the healthy version of a pizza, okay? A keto pizza, which I'm going to give you the recipe. Now, my favorite food of all time is pizza. I've eaten a lot of pizza, and I remember growing up feeling so bloated when I would eat the entire pizza. I'd feel sluggish and tired, but I didn't care because the taste was so delicious. So fast forward, when I started keto and low carb, I wasn't willing to give up pizza. So I searched out a really good recipe and I did a video on pizza, and I will put that down below, but I'm going to give you a summary of that video today. But what would be the health benefits of pizza? Well, if you do the version I'm going to recommend, you're going to go low carb, okay? And when you go low carb, you're going to actually lower your insulin. When you lower your insulin, you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose fat on your liver. You'll have cognitive benefits. Your mood will be better. You'll have less blood sugar issues and less cravings. And overall, you're going to feel really good. So it is possible to have your cake and eat it too when we're talking about pizza. There's a lot of other foods that you can also eat if you modify the recipes. Now, a healthy pizza is all about the ingredients, and the most unhealthy part of a pizza is in the crust because they normally use wheat flour, okay? So this recipe is going to be using cauliflower. Cauliflower can mimic a starch, okay? And it's used in a lot of keto foods, and it's a very neutral food. It goes with a lot of other foods. You can do cauliflower rice, cauliflower pizza crust. You can do cauliflower mashed potatoes. There's a lot of different recipes. And if you add the right combinations of things, it's pretty darn close to the unhealthy version. Cauliflower is part of the cruciferous family. It has a lot of phytonutrients, and it has good amount of vitamin C, folate, B12, B6. And cauliflower is pretty low in carbs and definitely low in sugar and high in fiber. So I'm going to make this very, very simple, and I'm also going to tell you a very big mistake to avoid when you make this cauliflower pizza, okay? The key is making the crust correctly, okay? So you're going to get a bowl, and you're going to combine 2 cups of cauliflower shredded, all right? Of course, I'm going to recommend organic cauliflower. Then add 2 eggs, the whole eggs. Of course, I'm going to recommend pasture-raised organic eggs, okay? Not pasteurized eggs. Pasture-raised eggs, and then 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. Okay, you can grate that, and of course, definitely organic. And as you're making the material for the crust, preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Then what you're going to do is you're going to mix it all up really nicely and get some parchment paper and form this pizza crust. Okay, and I usually put the parchment paper on a cutting board. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire cutting board with the parchment paper and the pizza crust that's going to go in the oven, okay, after it's been preheated. And then I'm going to very carefully transport the parchment paper part, not the cutting board, but the paper with the pizza crust into the oven, okay? So in other words, do not put the topping of the pizza on the crust as the first heating phase, okay? You want to cook the crust first, then pull it out, then put the topping on, then put it back in the oven. And we've made this mistake in the past where we put all this material on the crust and then stick in the oven, and it never comes out that good. It's all soggy, and you cannot cook the crust and the top material at the same rate because the top's going to burn, and the bottom crust just needs more time to cook. Now, there's a couple options with spices. You can bake the spices into the crust, which might be a good idea, or you can add that on later. But if you do, you can add half a teaspoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of oregano, and half a teaspoon of basil. And then you can put some sea salt on it, some pepper, some other spices that you like. So sometimes I will bake this into the crust, sometimes I won't. And as this pizza crust is cooking, a minimum time of cooking is going to be about 10 minutes, but I would check it at 10 minutes because it might need 12 up to 15 minutes in the oven, okay? You want to cook it until it's just slightly browned. Then you're going to take it out of the oven, okay? Put it back on that cooking board, and then wait till it cools off a little bit, and then you can start adding your toppings. So I put a low sugar type tomato sauce, Okay, I'll put that first. Then I will put a layer of grated mozzarella cheese. Then I will put either sausage or pepperoni. Sometimes I like to cut a tomato in little chunks and put that on the pizza, maybe with some olives and maybe even mushrooms. So whatever topping you like, go ahead and put that on the top of that crust. Then put it back in the oven, okay, for another 10 to 12 minutes until the crust turns slightly brown. Pull it out, let it cool off, and you are ready for a delicious pizza. Now, since keto has became very popular, everyone and their brother is making keto products, okay, and including the cauliflower crust. And there's one company that I've used in the past that I really, really like, and it's called the kibosh version. Now, I don't get any kickbacks or I have no affiliation with this company, but when I see a good product with good ingredients, I recommend it. So check out these ingredients. You got cauliflower, mozzarella cheese, we got cheese culture, egg, almond flour, coconut flour, flaxseed meal, cream of tartar, and baking soda. So I really appreciate companies that don't add all these additional unfriendly keto ingredients. And so if you don't have time to make the crust, something like this is a great option. I've also used this to make lasagna, and it's actually quite delicious. Now let's compare that crust with some of the other popular versions of a cauliflower crust, like Newman's Own. The first ingredient is cornstarch. Then they add rice flour and then tapioca starch. Another brand name is Great Value. Rice flour, cornstarch, tapioca starch. And then we have Rustic. They had wheat flour, potato starch, and then cauliflower. They had rice flour, cornstarch twice, and the tapioca starch. You don't want a cauliflower crust with these ingredients under the name of keto-friendly or even low carb. I mean, some of these have like 29 carbohydrates. That's just for a serving size. This whole crust only has 3 grams of carbs. So in summary, there is a way to have both healthy and delicious at the same time. But you have to make sure that the ingredients are healthy if you're buying crust at the store. Now, if you haven't seen my pizza recipe video, this was a long time ago I created it, so the quality is not great. I'm going to put that up right here. Check it out. If you want to get notified with all my content, click the notification bell next to subscribed.